The sea glimmers under the Egyptian sun. Ships from across the world glide toward the harbor of Alexandria, the beating heart of an empire that once dreamed of knowing everything. 2,000 years ago, this was no ordinary city. Alexandria was the jewel of the ancient world, a crossroads where Africa, Asia, and Europe met, a place where scholars, travelers, and philosophers gathered to share ideas, debate the universe, and chase truth itself. And at its center stood the greatest symbol of human curiosity ever built, the Library of Alexandria. They said it contained every book, every scroll, every fragment of wisdom known to man. From Egyptian medicine and Babylonian astronomy to Greek philosophy and Indian mathematics, it was a collection so vast that some believed it held the secrets of the gods. But today, it's gone. No ruins, no ashes, not even a trace of its shelves, just a mystery and the haunting question of how the greatest library in history simply disappeared. It's said that when Alexander the Great founded Alexandria in 331 BCE, he envisioned a city that would outshine every other, a beacon of knowledge and power. After his death, his general Ptolemy took the throne of Egypt and turned that dream into reality. He built a grand complex, the Mausoleum, the Temple of the Muses. Inside it stood the legendary library, hundreds of thousands of papyrus scrolls, copied and collected from every known civilization. Ships entering the harbor were searched, and their manuscripts were seized to be copied. Scholars worked day and night, translating knowledge into Greek, mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and philosophy, all preserved in one place. The library became more than a building. It was a living brain, the world's first research institution. Its scholars studied the stars, measured the earth, mapped the human body, and debated the nature of the soul. Here, Eratosthenes calculated the circumference of the planet with astonishing accuracy. Euclid redefined geometry. Herophilus dissected the human body and discovered the pulse. The Library of Alexandria wasn't just a collection of scrolls. It was a symbol of everything humanity could be, rational, curious, and united in the pursuit of truth. And then, it vanished. No one knows exactly when the Library of Alexandria was destroyed, because it didn't die all at once. It faded slowly, piece by piece, over centuries. The first tragedy came around 48 BCE, when Julius Caesar's troops set fire to ships in the Alexandrian harbor. The flames spread to nearby buildings, and some ancient writers claim the fire reached the library itself. Tens of thousands of scrolls were said to have burned that night, knowledge that had survived empires, gone in smoke. But others argue that this wasn't the end, that the main library survived, hidden within the Mausoleum, its scrolls intact for centuries more. If true, the second blow came later, under Roman rule. As Christianity spread, old temples were closed, and pagan learning was viewed with suspicion. The Great Serapeum, a daughter library of Alexandria, was attacked and destroyed by a Christian mob in the 4th century. Some believe that this marked the true death of the library, not by accident, but by ideology, the torch of knowledge, extinguished by fear. Still, even these accounts raise questions. How could such a vast and important archive simply disappear without trace? Why are there no ruins, no ash, no remains of the scrolls that once filled its halls? Modern historians suspect the truth is more complicated. Maybe the library wasn't destroyed in one great fire, but slowly neglected, its scrolls decaying, stolen, or scattered as the city changed hands again and again. Some scrolls may have been rescued, hidden in temples, carried by travelers, or absorbed into later collections in Byzantium or Persia. Fragments of lost Alexandrian texts still survive today, embedded in the writings of others, echoes of a vanished world. But for some, that explanation feels too simple. What if the Library of Alexandria's destruction wasn't just an accident, but deliberate? What if rulers feared what it contained? Ancient sources mention forbidden texts, scrolls on alchemy, secret histories, and divine knowledge. Some even claimed the library held prophecies, maps of lost continents, and writings that challenged religion and empire alike. If such knowledge existed, those in power had every reason to erase it. Because knowledge is power, and absolute knowledge is dangerous. Yet, amid all these theories, one truth stands out. The story of the library's fall isn't just about books. It's about what happens when curiosity meets control. The library was more than a collection of scrolls. It was a declaration that the universe could be understood through reason, that mankind could ask questions and not fear the answers. When it burned, something deeper was lost, not just knowledge, but innocence. Imagine walking through its halls, the smell of papyrus and ink, the sound of sandals on marble floors, shelves reaching toward the ceiling, each scroll a doorway to another civilization's mind. Now imagine the silence after, the smoke, the emptiness, the wind sweeping through the ruins where the greatest ideas of humankind once lived. That silence is more than history, it's a warning. Because the story of the Library of Alexandria isn't just about the past, it's about us. Today, we live in a world overflowing with information. Every second, knowledge is created, shared, and stored in the cloud. Invisible, intangible. But the same danger remains. What happens when knowledge becomes inconvenient? When truth threatens power? We may not burn scrolls anymore, but we can still lose knowledge through censorship, neglect, or manipulation. And just like the scholars of Alexandria, we could wake up one day to find that the wisdom we thought was eternal is gone. The Library of Alexandria remains a mystery, an eternal question carved into the ruins of time. Who destroyed it? Why did it vanish? And what truths were lost with it? Maybe those answers are buried somewhere still, in a forgotten tomb, in a fragment of scroll sealed beneath the sand. Or maybe, as some believe, the library's spirit never died at all. Maybe it lives on in every act of curiosity, every question asked, every truth sought, every spark of wonder that refuses to be extinguished. Because the story of Alexandria isn't just the story of loss, it's the story of why we seek knowledge in the first place. And perhaps that's the real legacy of the greatest library ever built. The Library of Alexandria, what really happened to the greatest knowledge on earth? Because some fires never stop burning, they just change where they live.